Hi, back with another formal video. Recently I just seen a thing about how, now, this actually came as a shock, like, fencing does not teach swordsmanship. Well, is that true? Well, personally, I have a couple perspectives that it can be meaning a no and a yes. Now, it also depends on what kind of fencing you're talking about. Like, let me just say real quick, I think this video is more as a counter argument. Yeah. Now, it depends. For me, like, for saber fencing, I'm going to start with that because, I mean, it's kind of easier for me. If you don't know what a saber for saber fencing looks like, this is generally it. Nothing more, nothing less. And so in saber fencing, I'm not going to post anything about, I'm not going to post a thing for a video example because I don't want to get copyright alerts and I have a clean history. Yeah. Anyways, pretty much with the saber, you don't have to hit with the blade. You can hit with a flat. You can hit with the tip, or you can even, if you want to go technical, you can hit with the blade. And like now, for defending yourself, does saber fencing teach swordsmanship? Yes, because you definitely got to block out. Now, like, going for the attack first, like advance, lunge, hit for both sides. Forget that. Forget the phone. Now that I do not think it's swordsmanship, and hitting with a blunt end of the blade, most certainly not swordsmanship. But now, like, I mean, like, also with foil fencing, having one person as the attack and a double hit happen. No, that does not teach swordsmanship. But however, not just foil, but in saber, you definitely need to parry your opponent's blade to definitely keep from getting hit. And most certainly in epee. Sadly, I do not have an epee yet, but I might get one later. But yeah, foil fencing and saber fencing, it depends which aspects. Now, if you're actually going for the dueling routes, definitely, yes, it does teach swordsmanship. But however, such as the right-of-way rule, no, it does not teach swordsmanship. And like, also one thing about foil fencing for me is that there's a on and off target. I mean, technically, if you're in a fight, the whole body is target area. I mean, I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna bring a gun to a pistol duel and go, okay, target area is this little area here. I got to hit this area. Boy, please. But, yeah. And then, yes, fencing can be a electrified tag, but my eyes, half yes and half no. It can teach swordsmanship. And talking with the foil and epee also greatly depends. Let me just go ahead and say right now, if you want to learn to sword fight and you also want to do sport fencing, join epee. Do your research before you get the equipment. Because, I mean, it's not cheap. Anyone will tell you fencing is not cheap. But if you want to just learn to sword fight while also learning a dueling standard, go for epee, most certainly. Because, I mean, like, foil, it was the original dueling thing. It was the original weapon for the small sword, which was the dueling sword. But, however, the only problem with the epee is that, like, double hits occur. Yes, in duels that did happen too, I believe. It was possible for that to happen. But, like, it just won't too often. Just like in epee fencing, it's not very too often you see a double hit. But, yeah, and also, now, however, one thing that I most certainly say is not swordsmanship is go look it up on YouTube. Foil fencers flick a lot. Like the leader of the fencing club did have a what we call a rubber blade where, let me see, it's hard to see. I'll just make another part of the video. Noodle blade. Versus a normal blade. So yeah, there's your difference. Making a better display, but this foil here is very flicky, meaning that you can just snap your wrist and the tip will just keep going. And it's a possibility it can hit on or off target, and it's a possibility you can end up just slapping your opponent. Is that swordsmanship? Most certainly not. Now, something like this foil, if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, this foil did break, but we did fix it. Like, it does not have a flicky blade. It's flexible enough, so if I let me correct that. If I touch, fencing, you call it touches, not stabs. A lot of quotations, I know. But yeah, it's just flexible enough where it should not break. And yeah. And if you want to know how you can tell if your foils are flicking or not, if you get them from Absolute, they have numbers. Let me see if you can. I'm sure you can see there's some numbers. 1609 is a stiff blade, and 1508. Yeah, 1508 is a very flicky blade. But yeah, like also epee fencing. Like, since it is first blood and your whole body is target area, yes, you learn swordsmanship in that. I promise you. So, like, School of Gladiatoria, that channel, when they say it does not teach swordsmanship, it depends. If you're both newbies and you just both go stabbing at each other, no, that's just electrified tag. But however, if you're experienced, look it up, epee fencing. I'm sure you'll be able to find something. Like, you gotta parry your opponent's blade, and then you can also go in and knock their blade off target, or actually not where their point isn't pointed at you. Because for both foil and epee, you both have these tips, but however, it depends, like whichever one you go into. Foil fencing, you have a longer lockout time, when epee fencing you have 1/20th of a second, which isn't too long to go ahead and just poke the other person. Also, another thing on the swordsmanship. If any of y'all have been on my channel and you watched about the All About Fencing foil style, now the orthopedic grips or pistol grips, I need to stop the quotations, I know. Yeah, them things, yes, you are totally going to go into a duel holding a using a pistol grip. Pistol grips have advantages, yes. My personal preference, they make my hand uncomfortable, and I just can't find a good grip that suits my taste. So I stick with the French grip, which isn't completely straight like a normal sword. Let me pull an example. Favorite medieval arming sword. This is the closest that I got close to me, so please pardon that. But yeah, the last time I checked, medieval swords or even other Renaissance swords, except sabers, have it where you're required to use one hand or the other. So yeah, basically, it's just based on your preference, what style of fencing you're going into, what the, crap. I did not rehearse this like normal. Whoa! Okay. Yeah, it all depends on the conditions of the fencers, what style of fencing, and also, like, it just all depends on weapons as well. Saber, my final answer, no. Foil, it's yes and no. And epee, yes, teaches swordsmanship. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in this week's vlog.